Vibranium is a fictional metal that appears in comic books published by Marvel Comics. It is most commonly known as one of the materials used to construct Captain America's shield, but it is also noted for its connection to the Black Panther and his native homeland of Wakanda. Publication history: Vibranium first appeared in Daredevil number 13, which was written by Stan Lee and illustrated by John Romita. Here, vibranium was seen to be an unusual metallic element with decidedly strange properties. Since that point in Marvel continuity, it has been established that there are a few variations of this element which can be found in isolated regions all around the world. The variation first introduced in Daredevil number 13 eventually became known as anti-metal. This variation's unique attributes is that it can cut through any metal known to man. In the Marvel Universe, anti-metal can traditionally be found only in Antarctica. Later in Fantastic Four number 53, by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, a new variation of vibranium was introduced in the isolated nation of Wakanda. This variation had the unique attribute of being able to absorb sound. This is the variation which is most often identified in continuity as simply vibranium. Fictional history: Vibranium was first deposited on Earth by a meteorite 10,000 years ago. The first documented discovery of vibranium was during a human expedition to Antarctica. This particular isotope of vibranium was dubbed anti-metal due to its property of dissolving other metals. A different variety of vibranium found in Wakanda absorbs sound waves and other vibrations, including kinetic energy. It was discovered by the Wakandan king T'Chaka, father of the Black Panther T'Challa. To protect this resource, he concealed his country from the outside world. T'Chaka funded his country's education by occasionally selling off minute quantities of the metal. As a result, Wakanda is one of the world's most technologically advanced nations. During the early 1940s, a small amount of Wakandan vibranium came into the possession of the scientist Myron Maclean. He tried to combine vibranium with iron to form a new tank armor, but was unable to fuse the elements. One morning, he found that the two materials had bonded on their own in an unknown manner. The ultra-resilient alloy was used to create Captain America's shield. Maclean worked for decades to duplicate the accident. However, during an experiment in the 1960s, he developed the virtually indestructible metal adamantium. When T'Challa became king of Wakanda, he strove to end his country's isolation from the rest of the world. Making the existence of vibranium known to the outside world around the mid-1980s, he sold small quantities of it to foreigners whom he believed would not use it to harmful ends. T'Challa used the profits to enrich and modernize his nation. Over the years, many have tried to obtain or affect the amount of vibranium at Wakanda, but for the most part Wakanda has kept it safe, and become quite powerful in the process. During their secret invasion of Earth, the Skrulls assumed the identity of SHIELD agents and enslaved natives of the savage land to mine anti-metal. They also invaded Wakanda. The Wakandans repelled the attack successfully. When Wakanda was politically taken over by the xenophobic Destiny, they granted Dr. Doom access to the country's vibranium vaults. Fearing Doom would use it to amplify his mystical energies, T'Challa activated a fail-safe he had developed that rendered all processed vibranium inert. Properties and known abilities: in the Marvel Comics universe, vibranium is a rare, naturally occurring metallic substance theorized to be of extraterrestrial origin which exists in two forms. Wakandan variety Wakandan vibranium is the most common variety, and is often referred to simply as vibranium. It is a rare substance native only to the small African nation of Wakanda. The Wakandan isotope possesses the ability to absorb all vibrations in the vicinity as well as kinetic energy directed at it. The energy absorbed is stored within the bonds between the molecules that make up the substance. As a result, the more energy vibranium absorbs, the tougher it becomes. There are limits to the capacity of the energy that can be stored, and although the exact limitations are not yet known, there have been a few examples. One such instance was when the oil conglomerate Recon discovered that a small island in the South Atlantic had a foundation composed of vibranium. Due to this, Recon found it necessary to destroy the island and so blew it up with bombs. Unable to absorb the force of the explosions, the vibranium was destroyed, but it did succeed in entirely absorbing the sound made by the explosion, preventing damage to the surrounding area. This variety of vibranium is a powerful mutagen. Vibranium exposure led to the mutation of many Wakandan natives. Its radiation has also permeated much of Wakanda's flora and fauna, including the heart-shaped herb eaten by members of the Black Panther cult and the flesh of the white gorilla eaten by the members of the white gorilla cult. Both give superhuman abilities to whoever eats them. It is also believed to dramatically enhance mystical energies. Antarctic variety better known as antimetal, this isotope is native to the savage land. This variation produces vibrations of a specific wavelength that breaks down the molecular bonds in other metals, causing them to liquefy. If huge quantities of antimetal are gathered together, the vibrations increase exponentially. Antimetal is able to become an artificial and unstable form of the Wakandan variety of vibranium through certain particle bombardments on it. Vibranium cancer. When a small submolecular imperfection was introduced into Captain America's shield, each impact over the years spread to neighboring molecules. It grew until the molecular bonds of the shield were completely broken down, shattering the shield. The shattering effect continued to spread to other vibranium, unconnected to the shield. This created a vibranium cancer, a shock wave propagating throughout the world. It violently detonated any vibranium it found, from mineral deposits to components of ships or equipment. The shock wave was traveling to the Great Vibranium Mound in Wakanda, where the resulting explosion could destroy the world. With the unwitting aid of the villain Claw, Captain America was able to stop the cancer and restore his shield. Notable uses. Due to the nature of vibranium, it is found in use of many in the Marvel Universe, including, it is most known for being used in the construction of Captain America's shield. The vibranium was of an ultra-resilient vibranium iron alloy created by Dr. Myron Maclean. The formula has never been reproduced despite numerous attempts. After Steve Rogers resigned as Captain America, the Black Panther sent him a new, pure vibranium shield. When Rogers resumed his role as Captain America, the vibranium shield was given to U.S. Agent. As U.S. Agent, John Walker has also used two other vibranium shields, the Eagle Shield he used as a member of the jury, and the Star Shield he used as a member of the New Invaders. Vibranium is used in the creation of one of Hawkeye's trick arrows. The arrows deaden kinetic and vibratory energies. It has been revealed that X-Men member Colossus, who can turn into a metal version of his human form, is vulnerable to vibranium when he is using his powers, although his body will return instinctively to human form when confronted with a vibranium weapon. Vibranium is used in the construction of the Constrictor's pair of electrified prehensile, wrist-mounted metal coils. The vibranium coils have a contact-based aura that suppress sound. In Earth X, Reed Richards constructed a worldwide network of vibranium power centers to solve the looming energy crisis, but the experiment failed. In this continuity, vibranium is critical to the life cycle of the Celestials. Agent Zero wears a vibranium weave body armor that makes him completely silent as he moves. In the Ultimate Marvel Universe, the Tinkerer discovered a way to use vibranium as a power source. Misty Knight's new arm was built of antimetal and diamond. At close range it can liquefy all known metals including adamantium. Warpath uses a pair of vibranium daggers given to him by Storm. The Black Panther uses vibranium in a microwave mesh in his uniform that robs incoming objects of their momentum. He also cannot be stabbed, although the costume and the Black Panther can be cut if the attacker slashes along the uniform's grain. Beyond that, he uses vibranium in the soles of his boots that allows him to survive a fall of several stories and, if given enough momentum, the Panther can also scale walls or skim across water. The field can be also used offensively to shatter or weaken objects, such as kicking something with the boots. He also used the other variety anti-metal, in retractable claws. Claw leapt into his massive sonic converter device, which was made with vibranium he bought on the open market, hoping to gain superhuman powers to combat his foes. His gamble was successful as he was transformed into a creature whose body was composed of living sound. Every wall, both interior and exterior of the Avengers Tower, is made of a vibranium-reinforced concrete. Teen Tony's hollow armor has a built-in vibranium psi shield which is designed to protect the heroes from onslaught. Vibrania, an African girl, was exposed to radioactive vibranium in her father's lab. This gave her the ability to release vibranium-powered blasts from her hands. Nesno Abedimi has vibranium tattoos covering his body. These tattoos help control his powers. Eventually the strength of the vibranium will wear off and Nesno's powers will kill him. Incidents involving vibranium. By 1915, human expeditions discovered anti-metal in Antarctica. The story Flags of Our Fathers, which happens during World War II, tells how Black Panther, Captain America, Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos fight the Nazis who want to steal vibranium from the Wakandans. Skrulls enslaved savage land natives to mine anti-metal. In an effort to reproduce the special vibranium composition of Captain America's shield, Dr. Myron Maclean, the maker of said composition, created true adamantium. Parnival Plunder, the villainous brother of Khazar, planned to use vibranium to make weapons with which to take over the world. Diablo became the ruler of Tierra del Maíz, a South American country, for its large deposits of vibranium. While the United Nations had decided not to get involved in the internal affairs of the country, Canada thought differently and sent Alpha Flight to intervene. When Dr. Doom gained access to Wakanda's stores of vibranium, T'Challa activated a fail-safe that rendered all processed vibranium inert. In other media. Television. In an episode of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends entitled The X-Men Adventure, the villain Cypriad captures the X-Men in their own danger room with traps designed to utilize their greatest weaknesses. When Cypriad traps the newest X-Man, Kitty Pryde, he locks her in a room made of vibranium, leaving her helpless. Pryde's mutant power is the ability to phase, or walk through solid matter, but the properties of the vibranium room seem to prevent her from using her powers to escape. She was eventually rescued and she later helped defeat Cypriad. The episode of Iron Man, Armored Adventures, Panther's Prey is centered on Iron Man and the Black Panther working to stop Moses Magnum from selling AIM. A piece of stolen vibranium to give MODOK life as stated by the scientists supreme. It is depicted as a dark gray metal constantly buzzing with light green lightning. It is later used to complete Justin Hammer's project, Titanium, as described by Mr. Fix as the only way to make it whole. Vibranium plays a central role in many episodes of Black Panther, the animated series produced by Marvel Animation and Bet Entertainment. In the Agents of SHIELD episode The Well, the bus's interrogation room is stated to have walls lined with a vibranium alloy. Film. In Ultimate Avengers, the movie, vibranium is shown as a metal used by the Chitauri. It is used primarily in their spacecraft hulls and personal armor. Later, one of their ships is salvaged by SHIELD and used to construct Captain America's shield and other items such as vibranium-tipped bullets and knives. In the movie, SHIELD developed a satellite dubbed Shield 1 that was capable of locating vibranium on Earth. This was done in an effort to find the Chitauri, and though it worked, the Chitauri soon destroyed it after its introduction in the movie. It should also be noted that according to the movie, the only thing SHIELD knew capable of penetrating vibranium was a nuclear blast or vibranium itself. In Ultimate Avengers 2, Rise of the Panther, vibranium serves as a bigger plot device than the previous movie, as the reason for the Chitauri invasion on Wakanda is Wakanda's massive underground supply of vibranium. In the movie, vibranium is shown as a substantial power source, as condensed vibranium cubes serve as the power source for the Chitauri spaceships. Vibranium also is seen as the principal component of many weapons used in Wakanda, which made them quite powerful though not powerful enough to withstand the Chitauri's attack. Vibranium is also shown to be weakened when exposed to gamma radiation in the movie, thus making it destructible by the Hulk because he releases a blast of it whenever he attacks. Vibranium appears in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is first named on screen in the feature film Captain America, the First Avenger, shown to exist in the 1940s. Howard Stark states that vibranium is stronger than steel and weighs only 1/3 as much. It is completely vibration absorbent. All the vibranium available to Stark was used to make Captain America's shield. In the Avengers, Captain America's shield proves strong enough to absorb and repel an attack from Thor's mystical hammer MJA paragraph LNIR, and in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the shield is also shown to be able to cushion falls from great heights. In the film Avengers, Age of Ultron, Ultron uses vibranium from Ulysses Klaue for his armor and plans to destroy Pietro and Wanda Maximoff's home country. Video games in the computer game Marvel, Ultimate Alliance 2, the nanite artificial intelligence known as the Fold attempts to harvest vibranium in Wakanda in order to construct communication towers around the world, spreading its control signal globally. While the heroes of the game manage to thwart the invasion, they are too late to prevent the construction of enough towers to make the Fold a worldwide threat. See also, adamantium, unobtainium. References. External links, World of Black Heroes, Vibranium Biography, Vibranium at marveldatabase.com, http://www.marveldirectory.com Vibranium HTM